Morning, friends. Today we are going to discuss about basics of C. Before getting into day 2 session, I need to review previous session. Yesterday we had a discussion in basics on behind problem solving techniques. We told about basic definitions of program, algorithm, and we had a discussion in problem solving aspects. Then I told about how to design an algorithm using top-down design method. Finally, I told about implementation of algorithms by using any programming language. In this session, we will discuss about the basics of C programming constructs, and I told already that for implementing the algorithm, we use programming languages. One of the example is C programming language. Next, we will discuss about questions which is asked in TCS Ninja Online Test. We will discuss some of the multiple choice questions and programming question. Start with basis of C. C programming language is a famous programming language. It is old. Many programming languages like Java, C++ borrows some constructs from C programming language. Widely asked in many interviews, coding interviews, Day-0 and Day-1 companies. The basic concept or constructs behind C programming is tokens. Tokens are a symbol or an expression which is used in programming language. One of the example for token is identifier. Example for identifiers are variables, function names, labels. Labels are used in go-to statement. We will discuss it later. And we have keywords. Also, example. Example for token. We have 32 keywords in C programming language, and constants like integer constant, real constant, character constant, string constant. We have in C programming language. Character array is the example for string constant. And we have 45 operators. Operators are the symbols used to do some arithmetic or other operations. And we have 14 symbols or separators. Separators, for example, semicolon, colon, comma, are the example for separator. First, I start with identifier. Actually, identifier is used to uniquely identify the memory block. It consists of a sequence of letters, digits, and underscore character. For example, variable name, function name, and the label names are the identifiers. Here in C programming language, the lowercase and uppercase letters are treated as distinct. Let's start with an example. C programming, I have C programming, sample C programming code. Here I have included a header file as included derivative, which includes definition for basic input, output, and other library functions. Every C program start with the main function, which returns an integer. But we don't want to return any values to the main function, so I just give one return 0. Here I have a declaration for integer variable and a floating point variable which holds value 5.4. If we give 5.4 f means it will be promoted as a floating point variable, otherwise it will be promoted as a double variable. Next I have declared the character variable and initialize the value for variable a. Here I have set 10 for variable x5, this integer variable. Finally, I have printed the data with a separator tab. For printing the integer data, I use percentage D. For printing the float data, I use percentage F. For printing the character variable, I use percentage C. If you wish to print the string value mean, just use percentage S. Just print the data. This is the way of printing data. To get the value from the user means just to give a scanf statement, just saying by mentioning the format specifier. For example, I wish to store the value for a variable s, integer variable s, just to give a declaration int s, then read the data by providing the ampersand symbol for the variable. This means that I am telling to the compiler that the value of a variable should be stored in the memory allocated for a variable s. Finally, you can print the data. The statement. Adding the new line just to give /n. To bring the data, it will expect the data. For example, I gave 1500. It will be 1500 on the screen. This way, we can read the input from the user and print the data on the screen. And we have keywords, several keywords in C programming language which will be used to solve the computer related problems. We will discuss each and every keywords in future. Constants are the fixed values. For example, if you have integer constant means it may be any numeric values. For example, 25, 0. The example for floating point constant is 3.14, 0.1, etc. Then character constant may be a single character which is enclosed by using small code A, B, plus, minus, semicolon, etc. Then string constants, collection of characters will be considered as string constant. Then operators. We have several operators in C programming language. We will discuss one by one later. Operators are the symbols which is used to perform some operations on the screen. On the program. We have several kind of operators like arithmetic operators, for example, plus, minus, division symbols are the example for arithmetic operator. Then increment, decrement operators, post increment, pre increment operator like plus, post decrement, pre decrement operator like minus are the example for increment, decrement operator. The assignment operators like equal to symbols. Then we have a relation operators like less than, greater than, or equal to. For arithmetic operator, we have plus, minus, multiplication, increment operator means plus, minus. Assignment operator means equal to symbol. Then relation operator means less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. For example, logic operator means AND operator, OR operator, NOT operator. Condition operator means ternary operator like question mark, colon. For example, for condition operator, bit-based operator means bit-based and bit-based or bit-based XOR. And also we have special operators, pointer operator, and address of operator. we have in C program language. So this will be discussed one by one. We have rich data type in C program language: signed char, unsigned char, integer, signed int, unsigned int, long int, short int, unsigned short int, floating point variable, double variable, long double variable. And I have mentioned the form specifier for corresponding data type and size of the data type. Range also specified in the screen. For example, I take a short int, which is represented as percentage as t in form specifier. The size of the data type is 2 bytes. It takes the values from minus 32,768 to 32,767. For example, I take floating point variable. You can specify percentage f formal specifier, and the size of the floating point variable is 4 byte. The range of the value from 3.4 exponential, that is e4 minus 38 to 3.4 e4 plus 38. You have to remember these setup. Then we will discuss about control statements. Every program can be broken down into 3 controls. One is sequence control, selection control, and repetition control. Actually, sequence control is automatically handled by compiler. For example, I mentioned the example for sequence control. S equal to S plus X5. This is the example for sequence control. It executes only one time in a C program. The example for next one is selection control, which involves if statement, if else statement, or switch statement. Third one is repetition statement. Before telling about the third type, I will tell an example for this condition. I mention selection. Use if condition. If yes greater than 10 means mention else and just mention less than 10. Or these statements, that is, if the resultant value s is greater than 10 means it will just print the s is greater than 10. Otherwise, it will print s is less than 10. At any point of time, any one of the statement will be executed. Printf statement will be executed. Not all the printf statements. Example for selection control. Here I give 24 is greater than 10. Will be printed. This is example for selection control. Another type is repetition statements. Programs involves while loop, do while loop, and for loop. as the example for repetition statement. We'll discuss one by one. I told about selection state. I mean, example for sequence statement, selection statement. I tell the example for repetition structure. One of the example is for loop. For loop is used to execute set of statements at fixed point of time by using C programming construct. Here, the general structure of a for loop is initialization statement. This is a one-time execution and loop continuation test. If condition satisfied means the loop will be the statement which is available in the loop will be executed. Otherwise, it will not execute. And increment or decrement statements. Finally, inside the for loop, we can have a set of statements. This is general structure of a for loop. For example, I wish to print values from 1 to 10 by using the for loop. Kindly note, don't specify semicolon after for loop, otherwise it will not print the data which is available in the. I tell the example here. Here I used to print the data. Create another file demonstrating for loop. Here I just to print the data from 1 to 10. Of course, declare a variable int I, then use for or I equal to 1. From 1 to 10 I will print. So I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10, I less plus. Now I am printing the data. Printf percentage d comma I. Just start a new line just to give class. Yeah, just printing the data. From 1 to 10, the data will be printed. Just to do some task to be executed many times. Fixed number of times means we can use for loop. Consider if we give semicolon here, what will happen? It will print 11. Why? Because it will start from 1. 1 is less than 10. So it will increment. After that, it will not print the data. Again, it will check for the condition. Now I equal to 2. It will check for the condition I less than or equal to 10. Again, increment it. So when condition fails, when I equal to 11 means the condition will be failed. After that only it will come out of the loop, then it will print the data which is available in the variable called I, it is 11. So while printing the data or while doing some task into the loop, don't use semicolon. Now it will work properly. Okay. Next example for repetition structure is while loop. I will give example for that. The general structure of while loop is initialization statement, and inside the while keyword I need to give loop condition continuation test. Then after that give a set of statement. Finally you have to give increment statement or decrement statement. This is general structure of while loop. Like for loop, while loop is also used to execute a set of statements in fixed number of time. It's something like for loop only. I will example. I use a while loop statement for printing the data from 1 to 10. Same task I do. See here, use loop. While loop. Here I need to give loop continuation. Before that I need to initialize the variable. Here in loop I have initialized the value as 1 now, I equal to 1 now. Likewise we have to initialize here. Then need to check the condition I less than or equal to 10. Then here just to print the data. I guess to execute more than one statement inside the loop now. So I have given beginning of block and end of block. Now I'm just giving the printf statement. We have printf statement. Just use the statement. Final note is you have to provide the increment I equal to I plus 1 or just give I plus 1. That's all. It's looking like a for loop now, but we have broken down initial statement and condition statement, and we have given given statement inside the loop. The same task it is. See here, same task. The structure of the repetition statement different. Okay, here you have to give initial statement, then here loop continuation test, then here, and we are using increment operator, decrement operator. See here, I can write for loop. This is looking like a while loop. See here, I can write for loop like this. I equal to 1. Then for we have already given I equal to 1 now. So just to give semicolon here. I less than or equal to 10. Just to give semicolon here. You can give increment operator inside the for loop like this. I plus plus. What you do is you have to print the data now. This is looking like a while loop now. Okay, similarly we can use this for printing the data from 1 to 10. Same thing. So I have broken the initial statement, condition loop continuation test, and increment operator. Same thing. Okay. Next repetition structure is do while loop. Okay. Do while repetition structure, we are doing the same operations like which you do in while loop, but in while loop, first it can check for the condition. If condition is true, means it will be execute the statement which is available in the while block. But in do while loop, condition for repetition is tested after the body of the loop is performed. First it performs the task which is available in the loop, then it will check for the condition. There is a difference between for loop, while loop and do while loop. In do while loop, all the actions are performed at least once. But in while loop, condition is true, it will execute. Otherwise, it will not execute. I will just give the example for do while loop. See here, same thing I do. Same code. I copied. Now, I'm just pasting here. Here I use the do keyword here. Copy the same initial statement. Do open curly braces. Have a statement here. Then after end of block, just give while, then followed by condition. While I less than or equal to 10, put semicolon. Now, what are the values will print? Well, it will print from 1 to 10 or 1 to 11. Just a guess. Just make a guess. I already told no. You have a hint. Already told no. Condition for repetition is tested after the body of the loop is performed. So it will first print the data, then it will check for the condition. That you have to understand. Now I am executing the code. Same task is performed, but first it will print the data, then check for the condition. That's example for do while loop. Next, we will discuss about switch statement. We have already discussed about if condition, if else statement. Okay. If you have if statement, inside the if statement means that we call as a nested if. Okay. And if we have several if else statement means that we call as a if ladder. Here I want to explain about switch statement. Switch statement is useful when a variable or expression is tested for all values. It can assume and different actions are taken. The general format for switch statement is switch followed by value, then beginning of block. Inside the block we have several cases, case 1, case 2 up to case n, and we have default action. And we have to use break statement each and every section. Okay, to select any one of the action among several sizes. Okay, the example for this statement. Here, I tell the example for number to word converter. Here, just getting the input from the user. Single digit input. Percentage D, ampersand I. Then just use switch case. Switch choices. In the block I give case 1 means printf 1. Immediately give break step. Likewise, case 2 up to here. User underscore means it will print 3. User underscore means print 4. User underscore 5 means it will print 5. When user enters other than 1 to 9 means just tell to the user that it's invalid input. Suppose you use default state. Okay, that's the just run the. So when you give 5 means it will print 5. When you give other than single digit number, for example, when you give 10 means it will tell invalid input. This is the concept behind this statement. This we are selecting one action among several sizes. I think you have some information about this statement. Then another statement which is widely used in condition statement, looping statement is break statement. Break statement causes immediate exit from a loop, which can be a while loop, for loop, or switch structure. Program execution continues with the first statement after the structure. Common use of break statement is escape early from the loop if some condition is satisfied, or to skip the remainder of its structure. Here in this statement I have used a break statement. No? For example, when I give 5 means, it will go to case 5 and it prints the data 5. Finally, it needs to be exited from the statement. For the course, I have given break. A similar way, if you wish to escape from the for loop or while loop or do while loop means, upon some condition means, you can use break statement. This is the example for. The next one is continuous statement. Continuous statement skips the remaining statements in the body of a while, for loop or do while loop structure. It proceeds with the next iteration, not exit from the loop abruptly. It will just skip the remaining statement of the body of the loop, while loop or for loop, do while loop upon some condition. But it continues with the next iteration. Please understand. Okay. So we had discussion in basic concepts behind C programming language. It is just a review. Already you have studied a C programming concept. So I told about basic concepts like expressions, operators, tokens, keywords. I told about three kinds of statements in C programming language like selection statement, sequence statement, and iterative statements. Now we will discuss some questions which is asked in TCS Ninja online test. Let's start with MCQ test. First question is improper formation of which of the following data structure can cause unintentional looping of a program that uses it. The sizes are linked list, array, queue, and stack. The answer for this question is linked list. For example, if we use linked list data, variable, in an improper way means it lists in unconditional loop, this infinite loop. If you use a linked list, for example, we are trying to assess the value which is stored in the data, linked list data type, which is not referenced or which is not allocated, means we will face infinite loop. But in array, queue, or stack, we will not have that kind of problem. Okay. Next question is, what is a data type that occupies least storage in C language? We have several basic primitive data types like integer, float, character. Integer takes 4 bytes and also short int takes 2 bytes. floating point variable takes 4 bytes, but character variable only holds only 1 byte. The answer is character. Next question is, which of the following is true? I read the statements, 4 statements. Array is a dynamic data structure whose size can be changed are while stacks are static data structures whose sizes are fixed. The first statement, they told that array is a dynamic data structure, but array is not a dynamic data structure. It's a static data structure. So first statement is false. Next one is, array elements can be accessed and modified only at the end of the array, while any elements of the stack can be accessed or modified randomly through their indices. See here, array is a data type which is used to, it is a container, it is used to store set of elements of same type. But they told that array can be accessed, modified only at the end of the array. In array, we can store the data and remove the data or update the data at any places, maybe beginning of the person or end of the person or middle person. But in stack, we can store and retrieve the data or remove the data at only one position, for example, topmost position. So second statement is false. Third statement, an array can have elements of different data type. That is false. Actually, array is a data type which holds set of elements of same type only. So third statement is false. Last statement is, elements of a linked list can be accessed sequentially. The example for linear data structure is linked list. Why it is called linear data structure? All the elements in a list are accessed sequentially. So it is called linear list. So fourth statement is correct. So the answer is D. Next question. ISA wrote a function fact in C language to calculate factor of a given number and saved the file name as fact.c. She forgot to code the main function to call this fact function. Will she be able to compile this fact.c without using main function? There are 4 sizes given. So they have written a program and stored in fact.c, but it does not have main function. Will it be able to execute the function or not? They are asking. First option is yes, she can compile provided the compiler option no resist checking is enabled. That is false. Actually, if the entry point for every C program is main function. If you have main function means it will be execute, otherwise it will not execute. So first option is wrong. Second option is no, she cannot compile as the main function is required to compile any C program file. So second option is correct, I think so. Third option, yes, she can compile as main function not required to compile time. That is wrong actually. D, yes, she can compile and run the system as the system will supply default values to the fact function. Both options are also wrong. Without main function, you can't do anything for every C program. So answer B is correct. Okay. Next, the question. The difference between variable declaration and variable definition is, first size, declaration and definition are the same. There is no difference. The declarations and definitions are different. So first size is wrong. Second one is that a declaration is used for variables and definitions is used for function. That is also wrong. So declaration definition is used for variable as well as a function. So second size is wrong. The declaration associates type to the variable, whereas definition associate scope to the variable. Fourth option is declaration associates type to the variable, whereas definition gives the value to the variable. Fourth option is correct. Declaration associated type of the variable. So it just inform to the compiler that what type of variable that you is to use for storing the data or handling the data. Okay. And the definition gives the value to the variable. Definition means you may set some value for a variable. You may assign or initialize the value for a variable. So definition means give the value to the variable. Declaration means We are associating type to the variable. So answer D is correct. Okay. Next question. How many times the below loop will be executed? We have a header file, and inside the main function we have x and y. We have a nested for loop. Outer loop start with x equal to 5. We check for the condition x greater than or equal to 1 and decrementing by 1. Inside the for loop we have we start from y equal to 1, y less than or equal to x, then y plus plus. Okay. Finally, you are just printing the y value. You have to use class. We have 4 sizes: A15, B11, C10, D13. We are just we are not wanted to uh, print the value, but the question is how many times the below loop will be executed. See here, when consider when x equal to 5, it will check for the condition if 5 greater than or equal to 1, then it will inside the loop it will go from 1 to 5. So 5 times will be executed for the first time. Next, the outer loop will be decremented by 1. Now it is considered as a 4. 4 greater than or equal to 1, then it will enter into the inner loop, then it will print the data 1 to 4. So first time it will execute by 5 times, and the second time printf string will be executed by 4 times. Third time it will be executed by 3. Fourth time it is executed by 2. Fifth time it will be executed by 1 time. Totally 15 times the loop will be executed. The answer is at first pass 5 times inner loop executes, and second pass 4 times inner loop executes, and the third pass 3 times will be executed, and second and fourth pass 2 times will be executed, and fifth pass 1 time will be executed. It looks like 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 1. There is sum of natural number. Okay. Finally, when you add the number of times loop executes, you will get 15. When x reaches less than 1 means it will terminate. Outer loop will be terminated. Okay. So size A is correct. Then we will discuss two programming questions. First question is, write a program to find the area of a triangle given the base and height. Second question is, write a program to calculate the factor of a non-integer. This is asked to be a thesis in online test. So how to find the area of a triangle given the base and height? The formula is half BH. I mean 0.5 B and H. Okay. I just implement. Program 1. Here I need to get base and height. B and H. It may be a floating point variable. So give as float. Just get the input from the user. Get the base first and the height second. Then print. The print statement is give 0.5 F star B star H. That's it. Area of a triangle. 5, 4. First the input is base, second input is output will be 10. Okay, that's all. So this question is asked in thesis. Very easy question. Okay. Next question is, write a C program to calculate the factor of a given number. You know that to calculate the factor of a given number, and just command the first program. You know that the formula for fat of a given number is 1 star, 2 star, 3 star up to n. We need to use this formula to find the fat of a given number. First of all, I am just getting the variable n. For iteration purpose, continuously I need to do some tasks now. So for iteration purpose, I use variable I. Here I use for I equal to 1. I start from 1, not from 0. I less than or equal to n and I plus plus. Here we need to calculate the fat of a given number. For storing the result, I use fat variable. For getting the value from the user, that is size of, n value from the user, need to use scanf statement, make it as percentage d. I'm getting only one variable, so I just give here give fat equal to fat star I. That's all. Here is fat to 1. If fat is 0 means all the values will be 0, because we are multiplying, no, so give fat value as 1. Start from 1, not from 0. If start from 0 means all the values will be resulted to 0. Start from 1 and I less than or equal to n, not less than n. Finally print the data using printf statement. When I give large value means okay, this way we can find the fat of a given number. So today we have discussed this is ninja questions, there is MCQ questions and programming questions. Okay. Tomorrow we will discuss about other C programming concepts.